Hi, I'm Lulu. Welcome to my channel, and I'm super duper glad you're here. So I have a lot of exciting things to talk about today. I've done a couple of van updates that I want to show you. Been to the thrift store. You know, that's always fun. The most exciting thing is my side panels on the roof. Look at them. Just look at them. They hide everything. Now, if we come back and just take a look at it from here, if that doesn't just look like a work truck, just looks like a work truck. That hides the max air fan and the solar panels. Now the back does not have that panel, but you know, it has the roof rack. So this roof rack right here pretty much hides the solar panels on this side. And then we come over this side. Voila! It's all hidden. It's all hidden. So I spent a couple of days painting. So I did one side of both of them one day. Spray paint. I sprayed primer. Let that dry. 3 coats of white. 2 coats of clear top coat. So then I let that sit overnight to pretty much cure. And then the next day I flipped them over. Did the same process on the other side. Then the next day I went down to my niece's house and her husband installed them for me. So if you look on the front here, you can still see some stuff in the front. So you know what I'll do when I want to stealth park and I want it to look like a work truck. What I'm going to do is just park very strategically. I'll just park with my front facing a less obvious view, and then have this side facing where it would most likely be viewed. I am thrilled. I am thrilled with this. It was exactly what I envisioned, and how fortunate I am to have family that helped me out, because where would you even get something like that? You know what I mean? Like, it has to be custom made, you know? So very happy, very happy with that. And he used just the right, he used the like nuts and like certain washers. There was like a couple of rubber ones in there. Just everything is just snug and tight, and just, he did a great job. He was wondering, he says, when you leave, when you get on the highway, I sure hope you don't hear a big rattle. He said, I don't think you will. He said, so when you get home, either send me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So it was just silent, and I got home and I sent him a whole bunch of thumbs ups in a text. So very grateful for that. So another project that I decided to take on was my cooler, my issues with my cooler. Now, I presented the idea that I had a couple of months ago. I presented the idea here. Some people thought it was a great idea, and some people thought, what are you doing? You're going to ruin the cooler. You're going to ruin the integrity of the cooler. And I realized that. I totally realized that. So my problem with the cooler is that it's too tall. I just need another, like, 1 inch, but 2 would be great. 2 would be amazing. So that I'm just not, my head's just not hitting the ceiling. When I'm sitting there cooking, preparing my stuff, I can feel myself just crouched a little bit, you know, just ever so slightly, but enough that I want to not do that. So my idea was that I was going to take the cover off the cooler and make my own custom cover that's insulated, that is, rather than having the insulation on the top of the cooler, the cover is 3 inches thick, 3 inches thick. I want to put that insulation under the cover. So have a nice thin cover, insulation under the cover that snugs right in with the cooler. So is it going to be as efficient as the way that it was built? Likely not, But I just know in my minivan, the minivan I had, if you remember the cooling system I had in there, it wasn't even a cooler. It was nothing more than where the stow and go seats were. I just lined it with Reflectix, and I put my food in there, and I put the ice packs in there, and put the wood cover on. It wasn't even a cooler. So I feel like, and that worked fine. That worked fine. Every 24 hours when I change my ice, the ice that's in my cooler is still really cold. Like, I really don't even need to change it every day. So worst case scenario is that, no, the worst case scenario is that like my ice melts in 2 hours and I'm not keeping anything cold. And then I'll put the cover back on, because fortunately, there's 3 hinges on the back. I just took the screws out of the side of the hinge that's in the cooler. The other side of the hinges on the cover are still there. The cover's right in my garage. And I saved the screws. I'll just screw them back in and go back to what I was doing. What I'm thinking the most likely scenario would be that at the end of 24 hours, with the cover that it came with, keeping everything icy cold even after 24 hours, I would imagine after 24 hours, everything will be cool but not cold, and they'll need to be changed. And even if I change them every 20 hours instead of every 24 hours or something, you know what I mean? It's like, what I wanted to do was to get this done before my trip to Iowa, because that's a 3-day road trip, and that will be a great experiment going to and from Iowa, so that I will know for my trip to Arizona. Because when I get to Arizona, it's going to be a 3-month trip, and I don't want to test it then. So for Arizona, I'm either going to go with this new idea, or I'm going to put the other cover back on and just deal with the headspace. But let me show you this, okay? Come on over. Let me show you how I did this. So here is the cooler with the cover off. I went to Lowe's and I bought a piece of maple 3/4 inch. They had all different 3/4 inches, and while I was standing there, I was Googling the different kinds of wood. It was called like blonde wood and whatever wood, and this was called maple. And I just read the description of each one. Maple seemed to be the strongest, and it was the most expensive. So I was like, I want it to be strong, because I do want it to overhang. So it's overhanging like a 1/2 inch all around, but I need it to hold my weight too. And I don't want it sinking in the middle. So what I did was I turned the cooler upside down right on the wood, and I traced it with a pencil. If you come close here, you can see this is where I traced it. Okay, that pencil line right there. Then I took my ruler and I went a 1/2 inch. I made little marks, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, all around. And then that's where I sawed it. So I have my 1/2 inch lip right here. So when I sit on this, it's very, very, very strong. So now what I did for insulation is, let me show you. So it slips right out here. On the other side of this is my insulation. So what I did was I measured, let me show you what I needed to measure. See this ridge right here? This ridge? That goes all the way around that ridge. So I knew that this insulation could not be any deeper than that. I wanted it to stop on that ridge and be as high as the cooler. So that's 1.5 inches. So I thought, okay, I'll go to Lowe's and I'll get 1.5 inches thick, those foam boards. You know that foam board? They're like green. They're like thick, solid. And then I thought, I was there and I was looking at the sheets. They didn't have, the small sheets they have were too small for this. And I thought, why would I spend $45 on a sheet of this when I just need a small piece of it? And I have all that polar house wrap weatherall left over from the insulation from the van. Now, if you don't know what insulation I'm talking about, you can watch my complete van tour. It's about maybe 6 or 7 videos ago. And I actually show the insulation. So this insulation is a 1/2 inch thick. So I took 3 sheets of it. Now I've got 1.5 inches. I stacked them on top of each other. I taped them together with this tuck tape. I learned about tuck tape. I never heard of tuck tape, and somebody on YouTube was using tuck tape for something, and they said it's the best tape you'll ever use. It sticks to everything. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try tuck tape. So I ordered some, and this is the first time I used it, and it is really, really good. It's like really thin, and then it just really, really does well. So what I did was I measured so now I had to measure the inside here, which you can see right here is thinner. This gets thicker. This is even thicker over here. So I needed to very specifically measure in from here before I cut these. So I had it all figured out. I was like a little mathematician, getting all my figures right and all my measurements right. Got it just perfect. I taped these 3 together, and I just used a little handsaw, and I went through and I sawed right on that line. So now it was all messy with styrofoam, little bits of white all loose. That's when I went all around the edges with this foil tape. So I went around the edges with the foil tape so it would just be nice and clean looking. And then I put this down like this, and I put some liquid nails, dabs of liquid nails, boom, 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 boom. Put this down, put a piece of wood on top of it, put 2 paint cans on it, and let it sit for a long time. And now I can actually pick it up. I can pick it up by the insulation. So it's 1.5 inches of insulation, and it fits perfectly snug. Right in there. Look at that. So now I'm going to paint this. I'm going to paint it. I think I have a black that's like the name of it's called iron something. So it's kind of like a wrought iron color. So it's kind of like black, but it's a little softer than a black. It's like a little darker than a charcoal gray. But I'm going to paint that a couple of coats with that. So now I needed to get a cushion, which everybody was like, why don't you have a cushion for your cooler when you sit on it? It's like, I can't go any higher. If I go any higher, a cushion's going to bring me higher, and my butt will feel great, but my head's going to be like, my neck, So I just never got a cushion for it. So now I can have a cushion. So I thought, I don't want something too tall. I don't want to go back up to the ceiling, my head. So I wanted like a 1 inch foam. So I started Googling on foam, and it's like, it's hard to get a piece this size. And it's not cheap. So I thought, let me go to the thrift store and see what they have. So wouldn't you know, Lulu got lucky on senior discount day. I found these cushions. They're about 1 inch thick. They were $3.99 each. And with the senior discount, they were $2.79 each. Now let me show you how they fit. Naturally, I'm covering these. So I'm thinking about putting the square side over there. So now look at that fit. Will you look at that fit? It's absolutely perfect. And you ready for this? This is the best part. When I come in and I sit, look, I'm actually sitting up tall, and I can't hit it if I tried. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. This is amazing. Now, this just has to keep my food cold, or I can just wipe this smile right off my face. Oh, and let me tell you something else. Another reason why I did it with 1/4 inches, because I wanted it to be light as a feather. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this all one cushion. I'm going to sew these together because I don't want these to separate. I'm going to sew them together. so that they're one cushion. And I'm going to cover them, I decided, with this. I found this little, in my fabric stash, I found this piece of a drape. It was a blackout curtain. There's the blackout side. It's just a blackout curtain. And I'm going to make a cover. These need to be ironed really nicely. Ironed and pressed and beautiful. Let's just get a little visual here. That's what it's going to look like. You get the idea. And it's so light to pick up, light as a feather. I can put it right here. And then, so not only do I have the insulation on the other side of this wood, but remember I have this too. So this is always, and then this is all on the sides too, the same stuff. So this is all going to be completely covered with all those ice blocks. Anything that comes through that is going to try to get through this cover. And like I said, the everything is very, very, very snug. So if anybody has any additional ideas on how this might be more efficient, I'm open to hearing it, but I'm kind of thinking this is what I'm going to start with. I am so excited. I can sit here and I can do things without going like this, It's a dream come true. You know, you live in this for a while, and you like that with your head. It starts to get old, you know, and I'm just extremely grateful. And my butt's padded. So I was asked I found to be a very interesting question last week. Somebody asked me, besides Berkey and Bluetti, are there any other companies that sponsor you? And I thought, I'm not sponsored by Bluetti or Berkey. They're like, really? I just love them. I just love the products. I have never been sponsored by anybody. I get lots and lots of offers. And at this time, I'm not interested in any of it. I just like doing what I like doing. And all I know is that I talk about the Berkey a lot, not because anybody's paying me money. I talk about the Berkey a lot because I love this. This is ideal, in my opinion, for van life, because I can get water anywhere. I can get water out of a pond if I wanted to, and it would filter. You look at the ads. See, it sounds like I'm sponsored by them, doesn't it? Now I know why people ask me that. And the Bluetti, I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to. I haven't used the other ones. The very first one I bought was Bluetti. I just heard a lot of good things about it, and it served me well. I bought it less than 2 years ago. I can't remember exactly when, but less than 2 years ago. And it's great. I mean, it's heavy. I perhaps didn't need something that big, but I wanted to go. I didn't want to go small and be sorry I went small, so I just went big. I love the Bluetti. I love the Berkey. I am not sponsored by either one of them. So if you hear me talking about these products, and even like all the links in my description, the only reason I really have those links in there is people ask me for the links. And I was never, people seemed inconvenienced that I didn't have a compilation list of all my things. Because then they have to ask, and then I have to answer them. And then I was always cutting and pasting links for everybody. And so I made the list. I made the list upon request. I didn't make the list as a business move. I don't talk about the Berkey as a business move. I don't do anything for a business move. Fortunately, I'm retired, and I want to always feel retired. If you catch my drift, I like to feel retired. And the way that I'm doing this channel, the time and effort that I put into this channel is nothing but pure enjoyment for me. And I still feel very, very much retired. And I don't want companies calling me. I don't want companies telling me I didn't talk about the product enough, or I only talked about it 3 times this month. I needed to talk about it 4 times. I don't want to play. I don't want to play, So I just wanted to clarify that I'm not sponsored by these products that I rave about. Hi. So I moved it upstairs because I want to show you the rest of my thrift store haul. So the story is that Thursday, August 10th, I'm leaving on my road trip to Iowa. It's a 3-day trip, and I'm going there. If you haven't seen the video yet, I'm going there because my daughter and I are going to be sharing a house together. We're going to rent a house together, and I'm going to spend a decent portion of the year, maybe somewhere between 3 and 6 months. I'll spend there. I'll just setting up a second residence. So it's very exciting. And I'm going to show you a picture of the house. I'm going to put it right here. It's absolutely adorable. It's the little yellow house. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 full baths, kitchen, living room, yard. It's going to be nice. I'm really excited. So now I need to kind of set myself up when I get there. So I decided that what I need is, when I get there, is I want to have a mattress waiting for me. So I have a mattress all picked out. I have it picked out on Amazon. It's in my cart, and I'm making sure when I hit checkout that the estimated date of delivery will be when I get there, not a day before. I'd rather it come a day late than a day before, because I can always sleep in my van. I can always take care of myself in my van, but I don't want it to come to an empty house and just sit there, because I'm going to order a mattress and a bed frame and a toaster oven. The toaster oven that I have in my kitchen here, I love it. It's my favorite toaster oven. There's a link for it in the description if you're interested in checking it out. But I'm ordering one just like it, and I'm going to have it delivered there because I love a good little toaster oven. So those are the 3 things I'm going to order and have waiting for me. And then I'm going to have a really good time shopping to decorate my room. So what I did was I wanted to get sheets. Now, I got sheets at a thrift store. Some people think that that's disgusting, but I just want to ask you, have you ever slept in a hotel? Because if you've slept in a hotel, then you've used linens that other people have slept in. Have you ever gone to a restaurant and used a cloth napkin? Well, you're using fabrics that somebody else wiped their mouth with, maybe blew their nose in it. You know what I'm saying? If you have ever stayed at a hospital, the Johnny that you wear and the sheets that you sleep in, other people have used them. We trust the washing system. We trust the wash machine. We trust the products that we put into the washer to clean fabrics. And that's what I did. That's what I do here. So I found a sheet. What I love is just, I want to find really good quality. I want to feel the sheet. I don't like that microfiber stuff. It makes me sweaty. I just want a really nice 100% cotton. So I found this sheet right here. It's perfect. It has a nice beefy elastic. When your elastic is just really good and snug. Plus it has that elastic, like that extra elastic right here. Those ones that have like the extra. So it looks like that around right around the corners, just the corners. So you get a really good snug fit. And the fabric just feels really nice. I checked it all out, and I didn't see any stains. I don't see any holes. I don't see any. It's not wearing out. It seems to be just perfect. And like I said, I love you have to really, when you buy sheets from a thrift store, you got to really look for your elastics. You want to make sure that they're good. They're good, and they're not stretched out and stuff. So this was $3.99. So $3.99 It was $279. $279. Twin. I decided to get a twin. I think there's a possibility that I could fit a full-size bed in the room that I'm going to be staying in, but I decided to go for the twin. I have a full size in my bedroom here. I have in my van, I have one that's 26 inches wide. It's the width of a sleeping bag. And when I get out of my van, a twin size bed's going to feel ginormous. I'd rather have the space because I know the rooms are not that big that I have to pick from. I got two to pick from, and I haven't decided which one I'm going to take yet until I get there. So I also found these pillowcases, and I was like, oh wow, these feel so good. And I looked at the tag and it says 100% organic cotton. And you know what brand it is? Cuddle Duds. I've heard of Cuddle Duds before, but it's always been like, I think socks or pants, maybe clothes. Cuddle Dud clothes. Anyway, Cuddle Duds pillowcases. These things feel like a dream. Okay? And here we go. The gray and that. And I can bring any color to that. This is all neutral. So I could do any other colors in the room. So I decided, since I don't know what colors I'm going to go with, I'm just going to be able to do anything if I pick these colors. So these two pillowcases were $4.99. $4.99 minus $1.50. These were $3.49. $3.49 for my two pillowcases. And then I got a top sheet. Check out this fun top sheet. It's just white with metallic little diamonds all over it. Again, 100% cotton. Feels really, really, really nice. This was $4.49. $4.49. It was $3.14. $3.14. So I'm all set with the bedding. And then I figured I'll use my comforter from my van on this bed until I find one while I'm there. See, I can take this much stuff in my van. I can't take much more. Like I'm going to stuff this under my bed somewhere and take it with me. But I can't be taking a bunch of stuff. I'm going to need to buy the stuff there. But I just wanted to have this for day one so I could have the linens for the bed that's waiting for me. And then I will shop for a comforter, perhaps at a thrift store there, because they do have some really nice thrift stores there too. So while I was there, I also found myself a pair of shorts. Aren't they kind of cool? And they have the side pockets that I love. They feel so good. I don't love the color, but when I felt them, I was like, oh yeah, they're mine. They're danskin free. So there you have it. Oh, these were $5.49, and $5.49 minus $1.65, $3.84. $3.84 for these shorts. Like I said, they feel like a dream. They feel dreamy. So I like to, when I shop for clothes and bedding, I like what they feel like. It's just really important to me. It's really, really important to me. So I have a lot to do for the next couple of days. I need to get my van ready for road trip. I need to strip my whole bed in my van and wash everything. I've gone on 2 trips. I went to Quebec and I went to Connecticut, and I didn't bother cleaning them when I got back from Quebec because I had only been in it a few nights. So I'm going to strip everything, get everything clean. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. Get all that stuff clean. I'm going to I got to go get some groceries. I want to do some prep cooking and have some meals ready for the road. I want to have some more meals ready for my Hot Logic. And I'll certainly be taking you along for the road trip. I love a road trip. I just love just being on my way. I just don't wait for it to be over. It's not, I don't know. When I'm coming home and I'm about like 2 hours from home, I'm like ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to make that final stretch and get home. But when I'm fresh in a new road trip, I love it. So I'll certainly take you along with me for the ride, and we can enjoy the trip together. And bye for now.